And we are back, and we just finished watching 2025's hauntingly beautiful Frankenstein, rated R with a runtime of 2 hours and 29 minutes. This is, I think, still in theaters, but currently streaming on Netflix. This comes to us from writer-director Guillermo del Toro from the novel Frankenstein, or the, what is it, Modern Prometheus, by Mary Shelley. This stars Oscar Isaacs as Victor Frankenstein, Jacob Elordi as the creature, and a few others we'll mention in a second. This is tagged as body horror, dark fantasy, monster horror, psychological drama, psychological horror, steampunk, tragedy, drama, fantasy, and horror. I don't know if this is horror. What would you say?
There are horrific elements in it.
But it's not really a horror film.
It's more, I would say, more dramatic.
Dramatic tragedy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
The attention to detail, though, is off the chain, as is par for the course in a Del Toro film.
Absolutely. He excels in creating set pieces and costuming and lighting and just the way everything is framed. He is just amazing when it comes to that stuff.
The little details, yeah.
That's nothing new, though. We see that in every one of his films, even the ones that aren't that great. But this one is really, really well done. I was like super impressed with everything I saw on that screen.
Yeah. So I originally saw this in the theater with Child 1. Gee, what'd you think of the film?
I enjoyed it a lot. And I like that we went to the theater to see it.
It was nice to see it in a theater, right?
Yeah. I know a lot of people have been upset that they couldn't see it because it's like limited release or something, right?
Yeah.
I think they should have released it in more theaters.
I absolutely 1,000% agree with you. I had a problem with Good Boy and this film. Well, not with the films, but just the distribution of the films. I feel like the studios did these films a disservice. It was absolutely impossible to find a theater to see this film.
The one we went to, the screen was all weird.
It was all weird. The seats are terrible. I was like, God damn. And then, yeah, I didn't enjoy that part of it, but this film is just absolutely stunning. And it's interesting because the first time I saw it, I didn't cry. I felt myself get a little bit misty, but this second watch on Netflix just wrecked me. Gee, what did you like about the film? Did you have a favorite character?
I don't know, because I really liked all of the good characters, I think. Mm-hmm. I liked, I wouldn't say she's my favorite, but I really liked Mia Goth's character.
Elizabeth, yes.
Elizabeth. I also like how she played Victor's mother.
You know what's so funny? I didn't pick that up the first watch.
Right.
You're the one that said that to me.
Yeah.
And I was like, is that right? So when I just watched it with your dad, I was like, oh, she was right.
Yeah, she had the double role. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
I liked Oscar Isaac's performance. I was really surprised by how well Jacob Elordi played the creature.
Because we hate him as Nate.
Yeah, I mean, there's that. The only thing I've ever seen him in is Euphoria, if I'm being honest. So I couldn't really, he was never really a serious actor to me. Sorry, Jacob Elordi, but this was really good.
Yeah, I agree. He was a revelation in this because I, too, am biased because of his role as Nate, where I just want to punch him in the face repeatedly.
Well, he's supposed to be a douchebag on that show,
he
is an excellent actor.
Job there
well, okay, so then yes, he is the actor of our generation then, because
okay.
I have nothing but white blight. Who's worse, him or the guy from Conrad? Nate, obviously. No, you're right. Okay, I can't even believe I asked that question now that I say it.
He's got range. He makes you hate him. He makes you love him. He's doing the job. He is acting.
Yeah.
And apparently he's from England too?
Yeah, another foreigner stealing our
vocal coaches or whatever.
An English actor, he probably gets a lot of practice.
Yeah.
Those people can't say no to a job.
Yes.
I'm surprised they aren't all doing cereal commercials in their spare time.
There was a great, not to take the conversation elsewhere, but there was this great article how like back in the 90s, Sting was doing like $2 million commercials for Japan, even though he doesn't smoke, because He's like, well, if they're going to pay me, like, yeah, of course I'm going to do.
Yeah, I think I remember that. And I think his only qualification for doing the ads was never show me smoking these things.
Exactly. Amazing. The Brits win. We never should have broken away. I want to come to you. This is your first watch. What did you think?
I liked it. Like I said, every scene is just a visual feast. Everything that you are seeing on that screen is just gorgeous.
Yeah.
The outside shots, the interiors, the way everybody's dressed, everybody's performance is spot on.
Even the small ones,
Even
right?
the smaller ones. Mia Goth was good. Christoph Waltz.
Excellent. Charles Dance
is in there for a couple of minutes, as always. He's always great. Like I said, when Charles Dance passes away, they got to bury him in that crazy ass coffin.
They
because
really should.
Those coffins they were like some sort of like space pod from Dune or something like that.
David Bradley, who we love.
David Bradley, he's great because he could play like crusty, evil old man, or he could play like a role that just breaks your heart.
Yeah. You know, when that scene happens, we won't give it away, but when that scene happens, your reaction was my reaction in the theater.
Yeah. People are douchebags. People are just like, come on.
Yeah.
Use a fraction of your brain power. You walk into a room and like, if you can't deduce what just happened, you're an idiot. You have to be some level of stupid. Maybe everybody was drinking mercury.
Maybe.
Yeah.
And also a small part, Ralph Ineson, that actor. I think he was the dad in The Witch.
Yeah.
Voice.
He was like the head of the university or something.
Professor
he has like the deepest voice of anybody on the planet. This creepy, deep voice.
Yeah.
You'll recognize it when you hear it. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I would probably say the only thing that I have a problem with, and it's true of just about every Del Toro movie, is he's just not really good with romance. He just really isn't good with romance. I feel like maybe they could have made something more of the potential romance in this if they had more time, but this film was just packed.
Yeah.
There was a lot of story being told, and yeah, I don't know how they could have extended that where the romance felt a bit more earned, but it was there. I was willing to, I guess, get past that. But yeah, that was probably the only weakness that I felt.
I disagree, but that's okay because this is, again, opinions. So I think prior to going to the theater to see it with G for the first time, I did a deep dive on, I mean, you can't really spoil Frankenstein. You know what happens. And so I did a deep dive on Del Toro and the actors, I guess, on their promotional tours, doing all these interviews, talking about this film. And I didn't realize how much the father-son relationship played in so much of Del Toro's work until he mentioned it. And then I kind of went back and I thought about some of the films that he highlighted in the interview, but also just as a fan watching his films, his filmography, and it was really interesting. We are going to pair this film with Hellboy from a few years back, and that also, it's about Hellboy fighting this big bad, but there's also a father relationship storyline in there that is also really nicely done. It's not overpowering. It is important because it's part of who the main character is and becomes, and obviously that relationship shapes the being that he is. Anyway, getting back to this story, though, I was just incredibly impressed with this. I mean, this is the film that Del Toro has been dreaming about.
Yeah.
And I think the end product is absolutely breathtaking. It's hauntingly beautiful. It is sweet and beautiful and heartbreaking, and parts are terrifying and gory, and just, it really is a piece of art. And I'm so gratified that this happened in my lifetime to see it. I feel like Del Toro is just a singular filmmaker and storyteller and just a treasure. I'm blown away by it. I think the first time, obviously seeing it with fresh eyes, it's all new and wondrous and magical. And this second time, I was able to watch it again, knowing what I knew, but also really sitting in my feelings. Like there's a sequence with, I won't give it away, obviously, but there's a sequence with David Bradley that really impacted me watching it. And then the ending sequence really impacted me. I started crying. I'm not going to lie. I started crying. And so the ending gutted me this time. It absolutely gutted me. It was because, again, listening to these actors talk about the story, what it means, and just watching it again with that information. And also as a viewer, you're bringing your own baggage into stuff, right? So as a child who no longer has a dad alive, this also just wrecked me in many, many ways. And also, I think in these interviews, Del Toro said, ultimately at the end, with as much as life is harsh and hectic and cruel, I think the end message is you keep living. You keep living. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just so powerful and really needed at these times. I think a lot about what happens in life can bring you down, and the beauty in it, the just the ability to persevere, right, is just outstanding. Gee, what did you think of the end of the film on the original? Well, you've only seen it once, so what did you think of the end of the film? It's okay because, again, this is a story that's been told for hundreds of years, and it's fine. There's no spoilers here.
I mean, I just thought it was really good.
Yeah. Okay.
I think I really like you said, the message of just keep living, to persevere even though life is really hard and all stuff like that. I really like that message. I feel like it's told like a lot. I've seen it, I've heard it, or I've interpreted it from a bunch of movies, but I don't think it stops like impacting me as much as it always does. Like I always just like that message a lot.
Yeah. Well, I think it's such a salient thing, right? To just keep going, right? Just keep going no matter what. Just keep living. And at the end, how Victor has a change of heart when he hears the creature's version of the story, I think truly moves him and makes him change and makes him be a better person. What do you say?
Yeah, you see that the Victor as at that sort of like final moment when the story's fully been told, he understands what he has done. In the beginning, it's just really about his ambition. It's about his desire to conquer death and by creating this life, he achieves that. But even like right afterwards, he doesn't.
That's like I didn't think past creation.
Yeah, I never thought past this point. And now he has this living creature who is almost like a giant baby. I mean, he doesn't understand anything. And Victor is growing more and more frustrated because all it will do is say his name over and over again. Victor, Victor, Victor. To the point where it's just like enraging him because he's like, I created you. I made you. And you're really, it's almost like, you're really disappointing me, kid. It's he is like anytime you see a movie about some slacker kid who's living in his basement, Victor's the dad upstairs in his recliner watching TV going, when are you going to get a job? But obviously the kid is made out of 1,000 different corpses. So yeah. And then there's all the other drama that's going on, the stuff that happens with Christoph Waltz. Was Elizabeth his niece or his daughter?
His niece.
His niece. Yeah. With Elizabeth, with Victor's brother, William. The fact that he falls in love with Elizabeth and she is just... Or
does he?
I feel in his mind he was in love with her. Because
he was in love with her.
Because she was not what he expected.
Right.
Because she was as you mentioned from some interview that you saw with Del Toro, that she was very modern. She wasn't, when she's at the place and she has like that stack of books, he's like, let me guess, it's a romance set in the Middle East with
the Mediterranean.
The Mediterranean or something like that. And they're all a bunch of books about bug anatomy.
Yeah.
And she has interesting thoughts, and she's not disturbed by the dissected body on his table.
Right. Because at first he was like hesitant, and she was like, "No, it's beautiful."
Yeah. So he is genuinely charmed by her.
Yeah. And she speaks her mind.
Probably, in all honesty, she's probably a better fit with Victor than she is with William.
Mm-hmm.
William is clearly just an arranged
situation.
An arranged situation. It's a marriage made for monetary comfort and a joining of wealthy families.
Right.
But as like I would say, it's also in regards to Victor, it's also kind of like I want what I want.
Yes.
I want what I want, and even if you're not too into it, I don't really care.
Right. I mean, he basically stymies the brother to be at the place overseeing everything while he spends time with Elizabeth.
Yeah. But as I mentioned, Del Toro's romance isn't Del Toro's strength. I feel like the romance stories get a little bit of they get kind of shortchanged because you're dealing with all this other stuff. This is a packed story.
Yeah.
And then
I also don't think that was the focus, but I feel like there was enough of it to understand where these characters were what their intentions were.
But it's sort of like you want more and you want more of a reasoning why these characters are making these decisions that they're making, especially towards, I would guess, the ending of Elizabeth's arc. I don't quite understand her reasoning there. That doesn't quite make a lot of sense to me.
Okay, that's fine.
You should just focus on the dynamic between the creature and Victor and how that relationship is completely messed up. And eventually it does get resolved by the very end. And yeah, overall, it was good. I felt like that was the strongest part of the story, which it should be because that's really what the story is about. Frankenstein isn't about romance. Frankenstein,
no,
it's about creating something. Yeah, your obsession, creating something, and then not knowing what to do once it's there. It's sort of like,
and you can't negate its existence because it is there. And in this case,
exactly.
It refuses to die.
Exactly, and that's true. It's not something that people can't relate to because every parent has had this situation where it's like, all right, we're gonna have a baby. Oh, the baby's here. Okay.
What now?
Am I going to be a good parent? How do you be a good parent? You don't chain your baby up in the basement.
No, you shouldn't.
That's probably a bad step.
Yeah.
If I was Victor, I probably would have just given it some clothes and
its own room.
And just said, okay, go to bed. We're going to talk in the morning.
Yeah.
We're going to teach you how to use a knife and fork and, and use the potty. Not lock you in a basement full of corpses and rats and stuff.
Yeah, that was weird. Gee, as far as the relationship between Victor and the creature, what did you think of Victor in the beginning? And then what did you think of Victor at the end? And then same question as far as the creature. What did you think of the creature during the sequence where Victor's telling the story? And then what did you think of the creature when the creature is relaying his version of the events that happened? Like, for example, when I first met Victor, I liked him. But then as the story unfolds, there's things about him that aren't very nice. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. I thought you were better than this. And even Elizabeth's character kind of dings him on certain things. Like he calls the creature it, and he gets very upset with the creature. And Elizabeth is like, well, you are the most important thing. That's why he constantly says your name. Your name is holy, right? And Victor doesn't understand it. And then something happens and Victor blames the creature more than once for bad things happening. So in that regard, like I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I felt bad for you in the beginning because you're this young boy who is very attached to his mother who unfortunately passes away, and it leaves a huge hole in your life. But you didn't grow up to be that nice a guy. And it's funny because I think even Elizabeth says something to the effect of like, no, you wouldn't think that about yourself. And yet when we look at the creature, because we're looking at the physicality, right? We just naturally assume, oh, it's a monster. It's this terrible thing. And in the beginning sequence, the monster kills a couple of soldiers. But then as you get into the story, you see a different side of the monster. So in that respect, how did you come into the story with like your own thoughts? I don't know if you've ever, I mean, we saw Bride of Frankenstein earlier. I don't know if you watched Frankenstein with us, the original, but, and I don't know if you've read the novel, but did you have any kind of preconceived notions of Victor and the creature?
Not really. We watched Bride of Frankenstein, but I've never really read. I didn't read Frankenstein, and I didn't watch the movie, I don't think. I guess at the beginning, I might have thought Victor was nice. I don't know. I was kind of neutral on him.
Mm-hmm. Did your thoughts of him change as the story progressed?
I guess.
Because there was a point where I started to dislike him.
I don't know if there was ever a point where I really liked him or disliked him. He was just kind of like I liked his performance, Oscar Isaac's performance.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, how would you characterize Victor when you first saw him?
Well, he's a child at first, right?
Victor as an adult.
Okay.
Kind of arrogant.
Yes, agreed.
And by the end?
I guess he's more, I don't know what the word is. I don't know if I'd say like kind, or maybe he's more understanding. I mean, obviously he's heard the creature's whole tale.
Mm-hmm. Do you think he feels bad?
I think so.
Okay. Because he does say that he feels remorse.
Yeah, I think he does. I think that there was always, like, even when, because he wasn't really nice to the creature at certain points. I mean, he chained him in that weird sewer system place.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I think there was always a part of him that maybe, I don't know about love. Yeah, he definitely cared for him, though. Like, when he sets off all those explosions, he does run back towards the house. Mm-hmm. But it's too late.
Right.
So, yeah.
He's not completely evil.
Detached or evil, yeah.
Yeah, I didn't think he was evil, but I didn't like him. Like when when he's setting fire to the house, that sequence didn't make me endearing to him. The day of the wedding, the events at the wedding or before the wedding that happened, that didn't endear me. And the way he just blamed the creature for the bad stuff that happened, I thought that was pretty shite.
Right. He was always looking out for number one.
Right. Exactly. And it wasn't until the very end when he's able to put himself in somebody else's shoes, because it felt like Victor was always for Team Victor. I mean, even Elizabeth throws that in his face, kind of. And so kind of to circle back to something that we mentioned before about, did he ever really love anyone other than Victor? Maybe his mother? And maybe because Elizabeth reminded him of his mother, maybe he thought, oh, this is someone I can love because she reminds me of this woman who was like a deity to me and just so special. And also because she shares an affinity for science. She's interested in bugs and in stuff like that. She's not the normal simpering girl concerned about her plumage and her ball gowns, right? So there was definitely something different and modern about this Elizabeth, which I thought Mia Goth did very, very well. And just her frocks were amazing. I think you and I loved
her outfits.
Yes, I think you and I during the first watch were like, oh my goodness,
I liked
these
all the
clothes
veils combined with the hats that she had on.
Yes.
When she's his mother.
That red dress.
That red, yeah.
Yeah.
I liked like the backs of her dresses.
Yeah, and all the billowing and
Yeah.
There's who what is it? Is it Kate Hawley, the costumer?
Whoever it is did an amazing job. Amazing job.
Should also get an Oscar nomination for that. Absolutely. All right, we're going to wrap it up. I'm going to go around the table and get numbers. I'm going to start with myself. I don't care. This is a 10 out of 10. I don't feel like I need to justify that other than to say from start to finish, this is a story that you know, told in an incredibly interesting way where the highlight isn't a creature or isn't a monster and maker. This is the story of a father and son, and it's told exquisitely by one of our best directors. Run, don't walk, and definitely check out Del Toro's Frankenstein. What say you, 1 to 10?
I would give it an 8.
All right. G?
I'll give it a 9.
Yeah. 8, 9, 10. Absolutely. Get to it. It's currently streaming on Netflix, but if you can get to a theater and watch it, I highly recommend it on the big screen. And with that, we'll wrap it up and bid you all a
Good night.
Good night.
good night.